Hey, fifth grade, I am going to go over your homework for the week. And what I'm going to ask of you is when we get to the end of a page, if you could go ahead and stop your recording. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is because I am doing all of the homeworks as one big video. It is just way quicker for me to do it that way. And I'd like you to watch them one at a time. So we're going to be going on the honor system here that you are stopping after we go over one sheet and waiting until you're given the next homework. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. This week, we are talking about place value, specifically 3 different types of place value. We have been talking about standard form, which is writing the number the first way that we learn how. Word form, which is writing what we say when we read that number out loud. And then expanded form, which is when we pull the value of each number out and write it as one large addition problem. So our first one is 64,978. We're asked for expanded and word form. So we have 6 10,000s, so 60,000 plus 4,000 plus 900 plus 70 plus 8. If we added these all up, we would get back to our original number of 64,978. Now, when we're writing it in word form, we know that this first comma always tells us the word thousand. So we really want to ask ourselves what comes before that comma and what comes after that comma. So before the comma, we have 64. The comma tells us thousand. And then we have 978. Second, when we're given the word form, we're asked for expanded and standard. I always start with the standard form if I'm given the word form because I feel that it makes expanded form easier. So we're starting with 34,612. We know that this thousand tells us where to put the comma. So before thousand, we have 34. After thousand, we have 612. It looks like this in standard form, 34, comma, 612. If we stretch it out, we have 3 in the 10,000, so 30,000. We have 4,000, 600, 10, and 2. Down here, we're given the word form for 8,206. Be careful with this one. You're going to notice when you write it out, we have an 8 in the thousands place. We have a 2 in the hundreds place. There is nothing in the tens place for this one, and a 6 in the ones place. So 8,000 plus 200 plus 6, or 8, 206. This next one again, you're going to notice that there is nothing in the tens place. So when we expand it, we have 4,000 plus 700 plus 3. We do not need to show that there's no tens. And then word form, we would say 4,703. If you have questions on this, please send me a message or ask them at the start of our next class. And with that, I'm going to ask you to stop this video. This video will be provided to you later in the week for your next homework. All right, friends, let's take a look at homework number 2 for the week. Again, we're working on our place value. We're talking about standard form, which is writing the number. Word form, which is writing what we say when we say the number out loud. And expanded form, pulling out the value of each digit and writing it as a stretched out addition problem. So for this one, we have 112,942. We stretch it out to 100,000 plus 10,000 plus 200 plus 900 plus 40 plus 2. We know that this comma tells us where the word thousand goes. We'll look at what we have at front. We have 112. 112. After, we have 942. 942. When we add it all together, we have 112,942. Remember, 1,000 is where the comma goes in our number. We have 89,322. When I'm given the word form, I always put it in standard form first. We're looking for that word thousand. That tells us where our comma goes. Before 1,000, we have 89. So I write 89. After 1,000, we have 322. So I write 322. When we stretch it out, we have 80,000 plus 9,000 plus 300 plus 20 plus 2. 1,038. Be careful with this one. When you write it in standard form, you're going to notice that there is nothing in the hundredths place. So we have 1 in front of the 1,000, which we put right here, and we have 38. Make sure we put that 0 in to show that we have nothing in the hundredths place. When we expand this, we have 1,000 plus 30 plus 8. This one, we're given the standard form. We need to supply the expanded in word. We have 3,000, nothing in the hundredths, plus 80 plus 7. Word form would be 3,000, where that comma is, and 87. Down here, we're given the standard form, 72,406, no tens. When we expand it, we have 70,000 plus 2,000 plus 400 plus 6. We do not need to show that there's no tens. We just leave that empty. Word form is 72,406. Last one, we're given the word form, 672,300. We're going to start with the standard form because that helps us with our expanded. We write 672. Then we see the word thousand, so 672. Thousand tells us where to put that comma. Then after, we have 300. There is nothing in the tens place. There is nothing in the ones place. Expanded, stretching it out, we have 600,000 plus 70 plus 2,000 plus 300. That brings us to the end of this homework. If you have questions, please send me a message or ask them at the start of our next class. And with that, I'm going to ask you to please stop this video. All right, my friends, we are working on some sticky, tricky place value, right? Because we're talking about the different ways that we can name a value. So you'll see up top, I gave you a little bit of a refresher that this is 4,000s, but it's also 40 hundredths and 400 tens. Now, if you are stuck, think of it as a multiplication. We want to know what times 10 would give us 4,000. What times 100 would give us 4,000? What times 1,000 would give us 4,000? And that's really going to help our thinking. So to start this one, we have 500,000. So how many 100,000s do we have? Well, there's 5. How many hundredths? A little trick that I use for this one is I know that 100 has 2 zeros. So if I take off 2 zeros, what am I left with? I'm left with 1, 2, 3 zeros. So how many zeros? Hundredths. We would have 5,000 hundredths. 10,000s. Again, if I cut off the rest of those zeros, how many 10,000s do I have? 50 10,000s. Coming over here, I have 40,000. How many thousands do I have? 40. How many hundredths do I have? 400. How many 10,000s do I have? 4. Think to yourself, what times 1,000 gives me 40,000? What times 100 gives me 40,000? What times 10,000 gives me 4,000? 8,000 is 8 thousands, 80 hundredths, and 800 tens. 900,000 is 900 thousands, 9,000 hundredths, and 90 10,000s. 60,000 is 60 thousands, 600 hundredths, and 6 10,000s. And then we have 300,000 is 300 thousands, 30,000 tens, and 30 10,000s. Again, ask yourself, what times 1,000 gives me my number? What times 10 gives me my number? What times 10,000 gives me my number? If you have questions, I know this is super sticky, send me a message or ask them at the start of our next class. And with that, I'm going to ask you to please stop this video. You will get it again to pick up with your next homework assignment of the week. All right, my friends, let's take a look at our place value. Now we are talking about two things. We're talking about what 10 times that value would be, and what 1/10 of that value is. We can think of this as, if I multiply this number times 10, what do I get? And if I divide this number by 10, what do I get? Because 1/10 is really cutting something into 10 pieces and taking one of them. That's the same as dividing by 10. So 8,000, if I multiply it by 10, I get 80,000. If I divide 8,000 by 10, I get 800. 900,000, if I times it by 10, if I multiply it by 10, I get 9 million. If I divide 900,000 by 10, I get 90,000. 60,000 times 10 is 600,000. 60,000 divided by 10 is 6,000. 300,000 times 10 is 3 million. 300,000 divided by 10 is 30,000. If you have questions, please send me a message or ask them at the start of our next class. That is the end of your homework for this week, Sweet Faces. I hope you have a great weekend. Goodbye, my friends.